Hey everyone, so it's been a little while since I put up a video on the Specialized Diverge, and it has changed a lot in just a few short months, so I figure it's about time to do another one. Now in this video, I'll highlight my favorite upgrades and modifications and give you a rundown on the bike where it stands today. Now this is my 2021 Specialized Diverge Sport Carbon in the forest green chrome fern papaya color scheme. Now I've said it in a couple of videos already, but the jump to this carbon wheel set and tubeless tires has made a huge difference in the bike's feel. Now these are the Hunt 35 carbon gravel disc X-wide wheels paired with the Panaracer Gravelking SKs in 700C by 43mm set up tubeless. Now I've tried several tires including the Gravelking slicks, but I keep coming back to the SKs because they just offer a great balance of speed, traction, flat resistance, and of course price. Now for reference, I weigh about 155 pounds and I've generally been running these between 32 and 35 psi depending on the type of ride, and they've held up great so far. I've had several punctures that were easily sealed up by the stand sealant, and only in one instance so far have I needed to actually use a plug to seal a puncture. Now the wheels themselves have also held up to some pretty serious abuse. They're still true and the spoke tension seems spot on. Now the next one is a bit of a controversial one, so I humbly request that all drivetrain experts refrain from bashing this one. Yes, I converted from GRX 2x to GRX 1x on this Diverge. Why, you ask? Well, in addition to literally doing the math, as well as riding both drivetrains for an extended period of time, I found that for my style and terrain, the 1x setup was just perfect. Now I didn't go full mullet, but I am running a GRX 812 rear derailleur with the Shimano 11 to 46 tooth cassette, and when paired with the 40 tooth chainring from Wolf Tooth Components, it's been awesome. There'll be a lot more detail on this conversion in an upcoming video, but if you're wondering, I did not need to use a Roadling adapter to accommodate the oversized cassette, and it shifts perfectly. Also, if you're curious about weight savings, there is none really. Literally the only difference in weight going to this setup is the weight of the housing that I removed from the front shifting. Anyways, you might also be wondering about this little guy right here. Now I didn't have the heart to completely rip out the cable from the front shifter because I have some ideas brewing on what I might be able to use them for. Now the idea is still half-baked, but with a few millimeters of cable actuation, I actually see a lot of potential for some shenanigans. So for now, the front shift cable stays. Now I've also upgraded the finishing kit, meaning in this case, the stem, handlebars, and seat post with help from Ritchey Design, who has been an awesome partner to the channel. They've been supporting me with components, and as many of you know, they even floated a review bike, the Ritchey Outback, to the channel, which at the time was really small. Actually, it still is a small channel. Anyways, I'm super grateful for their support and I hope to showcase more of their products in the future. Now on this bike, I'm running the Carbon Link seat post, which definitely offers more flex and is way more comfortable than the stock post. And as a bonus, it weighs less too, by a little over 40 grams. Also, after trying several handlebars, I finally settled on the Carbon Venturemax handlebars. Now these bars in either alloy or carbon just have Goldilocks measurements, and they're super comfortable in both the hoods and in the drops. Now for bar tape, I kind of splurged and I went with the Supakaz Galaxy tape, which costs twice what I usually pay for tape. But this stuff really lives up to the hype in my opinion. It's really tacky and stays tacky in all conditions. I also love the variety of patterns, and to me what makes it worth the price is the included matching alloy bar plugs, which are the expansion plug type and not the cheap plastic compression ones that you get with a lot of the other tape brands. Now I mentioned the stem as part of the finishing kit, but I'm actually running the stock stem here. What I was referring to was my next favorite upgrade, which are the Bike Sauce exclusive Future Shock alloy stem risers, which allow you to fine-tune the height of your stem on any bike equipped with a Future Shock system. Now, I already have a couple videos out on this, but in summary, you can't use standard headset spacers to adjust the handlebar height on any bike with a Future Shock system because they're a different diameter and they just don't fit. Now, if you were lucky enough, your Future Shock owner's manual would have come with some spare proprietary plastic Future Shock spacers. But if you didn't receive them or you lost yours, then I've got some machined alloy spacers in a nice black anodized finish in my online shop available for sale. As far as I know, it's the only place to get these spacers aside from special ordering them from a specialized dealer, which isn't convenient and isn't always possible. Now for me, using these spacers to dial in my handlebar height has made the bike way more comfortable, and for that reason they're one of my favorite upgrades. I've also recently swapped all the axles on my bike to the Robert Axle Project Lightning bolt-on through axles for their low profile and perfect fit. Now especially true on my Santa Cruz Hightower, which had the Maxle through axles with the bulky pseudo quick release handles. These Robert Axle Project axles really clean up the look of the bike, and I love that all the information and specs for the axles are printed directly onto every axle. So those are the main upgrades to the bike itself, but I also get a lot of questions about bags and accessories that I use, so I'll mention a few of them here. Now the frame bag, which basically lives on this bike, is the Outershell half frame bag, which is a high quality, handmade bag from the small San Francisco-based company Outershell Adventure. Now this thing fits this frame like a glove, and it's really practical as an everyday carry option. I also frequently use the matching Outershell stem caddy, as well as a lead-out mini handlebar bag if I need a bit of extra space. Now for tools and spares, I've got my trusty Dakine Hot Laps gripper wrap style seat bag that I swap from bike to bike and take on basically every ride that I go on. It's small, but it holds a multi-tool, a tire lever, patches, a spare tube, a CO2 cartridge with inflator, bacon strips, and a plug tool. Basically everything you need for quick roadside repairs. I've also added 3M helicopter tape to the frame anywhere a bag would make contact, which is a definite must-do if you plan to run any type of frame bag that touches the actual paint. Now, I've also removed the stock rubber down tube protector because it was actually installed crooked from the factory, and I just preferred to take it off. Anyways, I think that about sums it up. I really like this bike and I see myself holding on to it for a long time. So the upgrades that I've made so far, I think have been justified. Now I don't really know what else to add, but if I missed something or if you have any questions, definitely feel free to put them down in the comments and I'll be happy to respond. And as always, thanks for watching and thanks again for subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.